onto our training platform so it can be reviewed, and also Indra can look at it again. So look, what I wanted to do is firstly welcome everyone. As you can see, the team is growing, which is very exciting. The sentiment in the market is shifting. It's turning quite positive. All the conversations I'm having, it's a case of when, not if. So things are all moving in the right direction. Now is a great time for us to be really strong and active in the sales side of things. We've got lots of opportunities up our sleeve, including even deferring payment where it's absolutely necessary. So to help these hotels as they start to reopen, and to help destinations and to help luxury brands get to new markets, we've got some great products. On a side note, I am in contact with JC Decau and Clear Channel in the UK, and also an operator called Val Morgan in Australia. And they all do digital screens, digital signage in places like malls, in gyms, and those sorts of places where you might have a couple of TV screens, but generally they've got a designated screen for you to watch ads while you're on the treadmill, and in certain locations that can be absolute gold. So I put a couple of posts up today. In the UK, 1.9 billion impressions across digital screens in the UK alone every week. Just to give you an idea, that's digital signage. So not billboards. There are companies that do billboards as well, but that's just digital signage. So that starts to open up even more opportunities that we haven't been working with before, to say, okay, where else can we go? We know we've got the airports in the US on digital screens, and we're potentially working on offices. In the UK, the contact we have also has digital screens in offices as well, which is great. So high-rise towers and things. It's great real estate for them to sell advertising. It's great real estate for us to have a hotels TV show airing and be able to broadcast hotels, either paid for by hotels or paid for by the luxury sponsors. So either way, because that sort of advertising is more affordable than, say, Reach TV type advertising as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the brand advertiser with the deep pockets. It can be hotels. And some more interesting conversations about live streaming. I was talking to Robin at Bespoke today, and they've got 5 new hotels coming out, and really keen for us to put a package together to live stream those hotel openings all over the country. So just putting a proposal together for that. So all that's kind of moving, but I just wanted to give you a bit of a product update. What I want to do for the sake of the video, for the sake of Tulio, for the sake of Indra, for the sake of Hans, and for the sake of everyone else, is go through some of the things, the flow from the start to the finish. And I'll try and be as brief and to the point as possible, but I'd like you to take notes as we go on this, because there's going to be a few things, and I've seen a few things that are not being done. Particularly on the agile side of things, the agile CRM side of things, that I would like done, because it really helps us with forecasting and management. And also, we're going to be running incentives very shortly, some sales incentives, and those sales incentives are going to be based off the statistics that we find in agile. So that's another incentive for you to make sure that everything's filled out properly in agile. And I know sometimes it's a pain in the ass handling a CRM and making sure everything's put in, and going back over. And to a salesperson, you just think it's a big waste of time half the time. The other half time, you're so happy that you've got it because it's made your life so organized. But whilst you're processing a deal or just thinking about closing a sale, you don't want to be sitting there typing everything in and typing all the notes after you've scribbled it down on your pad. Because I always do it twice, I always got the pad next to me here. Everywhere I go, I got a stack of these. Every day has got something. If I do pitch, I write it in there, and then I've got to go over to the CRM and do it again, but that's just the way I do it. You could not have to handle it twice by just going straight in and filling it out, but sometimes it's better just to be scribbling a few notes, especially if you're in a conversation with a client, rather than the client seeing that you're sitting there typing. It kind of looks like you're not really engaged with them. So scribble a few notes and do it later. But let me walk through the process, and I'm going to share the screen with you. So, and I'll jump onto the whiteboard in a little bit. So can everyone see that? Has that come up?
Yes. Mine is okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so starting from scratch, the flow of what we do is we're looking for people that are potential markets for us, potential sales. So we've got the main areas essentially. I might bring up, you got the website, but I'll bring up htvmarketing.com, because you can always use this as your guide. And I use this during presentations. I find it quite useful in an organized way to click on to HTV marketing and just go onto the marketing page. And as I'm talking to people, and if you've been in a presentation with me, you would have seen it, I kind of just scroll down the screen through the different things that we do. It's a way of you having a visual there at the same time that we're talking to people. It kind of helps. It's not a PowerPoint presentation, so hopefully they do engage. PowerPoints can get a bit long, but you can always expand on points. But the first thing that we do is go and find the client. So we know that the clients, or the type of clients that we're looking for, are either hotels, their destinations, or their brands, advertisers, sponsors. All right. So you've got the flexibility, especially at the moment, to look across all those three types of clients. Hotels are pretty straightforward. You just want them to join the platform. You want them to engage in some paid marketing campaigns. And that's really the extent of them. And then we'll introduce other things as we go. But obviously, once they're on the platform, they get distributed out. They can get involved in digital screen type stuff, but the Reach TV stuff, I think, is a step too far for them. They're highly unlikely to spend $100,000, $150,000 a month to be across 72 airports. However, in saying that, if they want to come up with a smaller campaign and they do have a budget and they only can afford to go across 5 or 10 screens in the US, then we can consider that at a much lower cost. So that's something else that we can kind of, when we're going through the process, if they really like something, just try and get an idea of budgets and different things. But at the moment, it's hard enough pulling the $3,000 joining fee out of some of these hotels. So to hit them with $100,000 or so, that's what we save for the brands, the luxury brands or the advertisers or the destinations to go across something like that. But like I say, I'm working on bringing in smaller digital screens in gyms, in other places as well. So, if we can offer, 10,000 screens to hotels in the UK to target people in the UK right now in a staycation type market, it could be really interesting as the hotels start to open. By the way, you guys already know this in the UK, but just talking to Robin, being that he is a hotelier with 200 properties under management, they're very bullish that things are going to open on May 21st. And they're very bullish that they will be full capacity or fully open, or whatever you want to say it, by the 21st of June, which I think are the kind of the two dates that are set. So they're confident. They're quite confident about being full systems go by the 21st of June, and see any time between May and June as really good times to get in touch with the hotels. Now is a great time to set it up, and you can get things into motion, but it's I think it's more a case of confidence, isn't it, with hotels over there? So anyway, I digress. So the first thing we're doing is we're looking for these particular clients. So no matter which ones you want to look for, we've been using LinkedIn basically to get to them, and really focused on the sales managers. So director of sales, bespoke hotels. Okay, so it gets you to the contact that you want. And there's Amanda with bespoke. I don't know why I'm not already connected to her, but what I tend to do is I tend to hit connect. I can either add a note or I can just send. I won't add her a note because she already knows me, but so I may add a note, but if you do add a note, especially on the first connection, don't go in too strong with it all. Just be, hey, it'd be great to connect. By the way, this is what we do. You know, we broadcast hotels across digital screens and across connected TV and things like that. You could be very brief, or if you are looking to particularly target someone, you could really dig into it a little bit before you contact them. And what you want to do is try and find a hot point and a reason to meet. So, you know, bespoke hotels is in the UK. You might write a message based around our Navigator program, which is the paid advertising directly to guests that have just searched an airline or just booked an airline. So I might drop a message saying, hey, you know, we've just started targeting passengers that have looked or booked on EasyJet directly to Manchester. And I know you've got some hotels in Manchester. I'd love to talk to you about sending these clients your way. Right. So that gives lots of inferences. But I'd like to send these clients your way. Just saying, I'd like to send these clients your way, right? I've found in the past has often got a very favorable response because the hotel's job is to get clients. Now the thing is, yes, I want to send these clients your way, but let's jump into let's have a meeting because I'd like to explain exactly how that works and how I can get them to you. So and then you can go in and say, well, this is what Hotels TV does. And then you go into the presentation when you meet. So that's the process. If you want to use Sales Navigator, you can just use ordinary LinkedIn. But if you want to use Sales Navigator, well, Sales Navigator, the beauty of this is it lets you create lists and really get quite granular about the contacts. So I've got various contacts here. I've got luxury brands that have been contacted already. And everything from Rimowa, Cartier, Anheuser-Busch, Moncler, yeah, and so on, Gucci. And so if you find the beauty about this is it really allows you to drill down further. If you find the perfect profile, and the trouble is it's kind of not perfect, I guess, in our industry because their titles do change. Some is director of sales, sales and marketing, or communications, marketing and communications. It's not so straightforward. So you've got to be a little bit flexible with what you do. But the beauty about Sales Navigator is you can click to the right-hand side and view similar. Okay. Sorry, if can you guys just mute your mic if it's noisy where you are. Thank you. So when you view similar, then basically other people, it allows you to keep building and keep saving to your list and keep finding new contacts. And through there, you can then connect with them or send them a message. You only get so many kind of messages you're allowed to send them. But it's a good way to get response as well. So, and then it tracks them and you can save them and different things. So it's like a mini CRM. But then what you need to do at that point, I'm not going to go through every single way of finding clients, but that's just one way. Then what you do is you try and get them into a meeting, whatever your spiel is, and then you put them into Agile. So we want all your contacts put in. It'll go under your name. You'll be the main contact. If we do email campaigns by using Agile CRM, they're still tagged to you. So even if we send a campaign out and it goes out to thousands of hoteliers or luxury brands, just updating them as to what we're doing, which new clients we're working with. If they reply on that message, it'll come back to you. Okay, so, but we need you to put it in there so we can track this. We also need you to fill out everything that you need, and I'll go through a few examples of that so that we can look at this. This is what they call a leaderboard on Agile. So we're clearly looking for revenue, but we want to, there's a way of recording deals, there's a way of recording calls and tasks as well. And like I say, I know it can be a bit of a pain, but it really is valuable information. It also allows us to fine tune our training around what we're getting and what we're not getting. If we find we're getting a really low, like we've found through COVID, we've found it's very difficult to get hold of people at the start. So we might be making lots of calls, but we're not making many contacts. So what we want to see is that as the market opens, a really good indicator that things are getting back to normal is that there'll be a lesser gap between the number of calls we make and the number of communications we have. They'll be closer together. And so that's really a good way of us being able to fine tune things, put training into place and new mechanisms, adjust some of the marketing we do as well. And the other thing is we're doing more and more marketing campaigns, and they're going to start rolling out even more so. And we want to drive people to make appointments on this platform by giving them a calendar link. So if they want to meet with us, they do the calendar link and then it goes into there. So it's really important that you're recording everything and you're putting all your appointments in there. And I'm going to show you how to do that, because we need to be able to allocate you a client, and we need to know when you're available, when you're not available as well. So that's important. We may still allocate the client to you. We might have to reappoint it. But you really want to avoid, if a client has booked a particular time, you really want to avoid reappointing that client, because sometimes it can take a long time to get another slot to actually speak to them. But sometimes we do need to reappoint them. So that's fine as well. So what happens is when you come on to Agile, you basically go up to the right-hand side, you can add a contact and you fill out the details. You really just need the name, title, everything. Sometimes you add a company. So you'll add the company in there and set all that up. And then you'll go in and see the company in there and you'll add the contacts to the company. So you might add one company, but you might have 10 contacts at that company. So it keeps it really nice and neat and connected, which is a great way for you to, know what's going on. And also, if you come in and you've got a client, but you add the company, or you see that the company is already in Agile, then it allows you to then look a little bit further to find out if someone's already contacted that hotel, if we're already doing business with that hotel or whatever, and that might be easy to tell at the moment, but in 6 months and another, and 10,000 contacts later and another 10, 15 salespeople, it's not so easy. So the more we can get this into play and settled now, the easier it is to manage a global sales team, and it's easier for you to see and make sure that you've got control of your client as well. So you add them in. So I'm now going to take a particular client here and take you in. Now, within Agile, the way that we differentiate a client or tag a client or categorize a client is by adding particular tags. So Vanessa would have given you, I think, a list of tags that we use. And what you do is when you add the client, you add the particular tags. So video marketing, digital marketing, advert sponsorship, whatever we're talking to this particular client about. Now, also sometimes some of these tags are attached to an automated marketing program. So we have something called long-term nurture, or LTN. And when you add that LTN tag, it automatically sends an email that we've programmed in. And then in 7 days, another one will be sent out, and then another 7 days. And so we then bring them into this, as it suggests, long-term nurture type situation, so that we can keep adding campaigns or emails that keep informing or educating or inspiring or connecting these people. And because sometimes people are interested, sometimes it's not the right time. But us sending an email, even if we send it once a month, it's another little reminder that we're there. So it helps sweep around the work that you're doing, and it's good brand awareness. So it's really important. That's another reason it's important, and we'll advise you when we have particular campaigns. I'm actually, Vanessa as well, we'll be upgrading this to the next version or the next level of, and that way we can control privileges a bit more. We can do multiple campaigns. We're starting to max out on this particular connection for what we need. So nothing will change. It'll just upgrade automatically. You won't see any real changes on your platform, but it just allows us to do more things with it. So shortly we'll update that. Yeah, so this is essentially where you keep track of that. Your ownership is there. That's how the system knows any email campaigns that go out. If people reply, they come back to you there. So what we do is we've added the client, and we go to notes, and we add a note here, subject like first call, interview, meeting, whatever it is. Then yes, interested, they want to book on a so-and-so date. That's all great, which I know just about all of you know how to do already. And even Tulio, I've seen you're in there already, and you're already adding some contacts and some communications that you're having at the moment, which is fantastic. Now, once that's added, you need to make all the other technology work around you as well. And it starts to make your life a lot more seamless when you put all this together. So if you've made an appointment, you go into events and you add an event. That's essentially an appointment. Now, be careful when you create the name, because that name is going to be what is automatically sent as a calendar invite to the client. All right. So I would normally write something like HTV Harrison meet with John at QT Hotels. So that way it not only tells you what you're doing, but it tells John who's meeting him. All right. When it pops up in his calendar, there's nothing worse than if it goes into his calendar and it just says meeting with John. Well, he's John. So, you know, he needs to know more you. So, so that's it. Priority I leave as normal. I don't touch that. I don't touch status, to be honest. Owners in there. I put in the date, the start time of the meeting. Keep in mind, you don't want to scare people off at this point. Put in half an hour or 40 minutes. It doesn't matter if you go over, but don't put an hour or 2 hours in there, because that could scare them off and cause them to reschedule. And it's something that you might do and not even realize why you get a high cancellation rate of appointments. It could be something as simple as that. So always just stick in about half an hour. That's easy enough for people to make time for. We color code sometimes just because it's easier to read when we look on the calendar, and I'll show you that in a minute. The client's name's automatically tagged down there. I believe you can actually add more people. So if there's more contacts in there and you type their name in, you can actually add them to the same calendar invite. So if there's 4 or 5 people from the same company, you could do that. And you're able to take the tick out or put it in as to whether you're going to send that email invitation. So if you don't, what it means, it sets up in your calendar, but it's not sending a message to that client. If you do tick it, it sends a message to them, and it gives them a way that they can save it into their own calendar then and there. It goes to them as an email, and it's a nicely presented email. I believe we can personalize that as well, but I haven't actually done it. It's just something we might look into. Related deals, I don't normally use that, but description down here is where you could put the Zoom link. Okay, or you might use Google Meet. And remember, remember with Zoom, you get like 40 minutes or 45 minutes, unless you're going to pay for a Zoom connection, you get like 40 or 45 minutes and then it drops out. You're better just using Skype, or you're better using Google Meet, to be honest, than worrying about Zoom. Zoom's great, but to be honest, Google Meet's just as good for what we need. Still share your screen and do all the things you need to do. And it's free. And especially because we're all part of G Suite, or what's called Workspace, I think now. We're already paying for your email address and your setup within Gmail, right? So that gives you kind of access to the full suite of products to be able to conduct your business. So if you want to start using Google Meet, I'd suggest, because you can set up the appointment here, but then you can go into your calendar, right? And you can then, and it's kind of double handling, but as soon as you open that, it says, so here's HTV Harrison meet with John, blah, 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 QT Hotels. You can paste John's email address into that side, add Google conferencing. You simply tick it, and that's it. That's it. It's all you had to do. You don't even have to put anything down there except I look forward to meeting you, blah, 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 whatever. That's all. And save that, right? And that'll send the email directly from your Google Calendar. So, but I believe if your calendars are connected, which they should be, as soon as you've made the Agile appointment, and I won't make it because it's going to an actual client, it should populate. This is what it does on mine. It should automatically populate your Gmail calendar anyway. And then if it populates that, it should automatically give you the Google Meet option. If not, you just simply click on it, add it, and then save it and send it to the client. So they've got that link as well. And just obviously make them aware you're going to meet them on Google Meet. But that's a great way to do it. And then it'll sit in your personal calendar, which is going to sit up here. I'll go into that. It'll automatically go in your color into your personal calendar, right? So it keeps everything beautifully organized on Gmail calendar, and also keeps a record of it in there. So that's simply the best way to make your appointments. And then it's all, you've got history here. You can see when your appointments were and things like that. Now, if you've called them and you don't have an appointment, you've got a future follow-up or whatever the case, then you use tasks, all right? And you add your task. Now, no one's going to see this except you, and I normally put follow up or second call or decision or whatever it is. This is a reminder for you. You put in the date, the time, you're already there as the owner, but if you want someone else to follow up that lead, you can actually select one of the other people on the list. Status in progress or completed, you could do that. I don't tend to do that, but you could put in progress. And then once you've finished with it, you move it to complete, which removes it. So it's probably a good idea. And any description, once again, you can do. but this goes to you, and this is found up here under tasks. So you've got your little icon for calendar, you got your icon for tasks, and under your task list will be everything. Now, one of the things I've noticed in this, just something for you guys, is that not everyone, Matthew's definitely leading on the tasks list. So in the tasks competition, Matthew is streets ahead, and I'd love to see a bit more competition there for things that you need to follow up. And even if you're just thinking of calling someone, but you don't want to call them now, but you want to call them in 2 weeks, add them to the task. You don't have to have actually spoken to them, but for example, there might be now a UK hotel that you really want to call, you're excited about calling, but you know they're furloughed and they're going to be back after May. So give them a week to settle in. End of May or start of June, you're going to give them a call. So put it in your tasks. And that way it'll come through. Your tasks then send you an email on the day. It gives you a list of your tasks by email. This is what you're doing today. Dun, 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 dun. Now, and I'll do this with mine so I don't move your tasks. If you go, oh, I didn't get to call them today, right? You drag it to tomorrow, all right? And then tomorrow it becomes today and it reminds you again. And if you still can't get to it, you drag it to tomorrow or later, and then it works its way through. That way, you don't forget anyone. You don't leave anyone behind. On the left-hand side is the overdues list. These are the ones you've missed. When they end up in overdue, you missed them. Okay, it kind of means you're not working on them. Okay, so what to do is move them. Now you can either move them or you can go in and re-edit them, right, and push them to a date at some point in the future, but make sure you're handling it, because sitting here in your overdue column, it's potential money for you. So, and if you just leave them there, you've forgotten them. They're going to disappear forever. But that's why you've got an overdue column, is that you can always go back and fix that problem. All right. So you add your tasks, you add your events. Okay. The timeline over here is when you send things, like if you send a document through email on this, or it tracks it and you can see when they open it. So it's really worthwhile doing things within Agile. Like if we send an email campaign out to everyone, you'll see that it was sent, and you'll see that they received it, and you'll even see that they opened it. And if you've got your little notification switched on, down the bottom right-hand side, it'll come up with a message at the time they're looking at the document. So if you then have sent something to these people through Agile, and you can then see that they've got it and they're opening it and they're reading it and they've clicked on the link, it gives you everything. So it's a vital piece of equipment that you've got to keep right on top of your clients. And if the client turns around and go, no, I never received it, you can say, well, I just saw you were looking at it, So, and it'll come up here. So let me just move some things around here. Okay, so timeline just gives you that. So notes, events, tasks.
Harrison,
Yes.
sorry, before you go, under notes,
Yes.
if you have a call, the way to register a call is different, because if you add just as a note, it doesn't count as call. So you need to add a call log.
Yep.
Exactly.
Now, okay, yeah. So you add your call logs in there. Okay. All right. So put your call log in there, and then put your other meetings and other information. Keep notes. Copy an email. If it's quicker just to copy the email that you just sent through your Gmail account, just copy it straight into there, so that you can look back in here and see what they said, see what you said. Because what happens is, all of a sudden a client calls you back or they send you a message. You need to quickly go onto their profile so you can read about what's happened before. And that way you don't mess up and you start pitching some other price or something else. Put everything down, everything you spoke to them about, everything you suggested, the price, the promise, whatever it is, list it here. That way you don't get yourself into trouble.
Just one comment here as well, Harris.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was talking to Tulio on this, and because both of us and probably Hans, we deal with our customers in a different language, right? We I speak with mine in Portuguese or Spanish, and in English and so on, and Hans probably in French, and Tulio also in Spanish. So what we will do is that we copy and paste the emails that we exchange in the other language, but in the title we just put it in English, like a summary, which is understandable for you and for who else is
Right.
reading
Yeah,
the
it's a good
content.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay, that's a good idea. Just until I finish my Berlitz Spanish speaking course, my express course that I'm going to have to undertake. Okay. Let me just move this out the way. Yeah, it's a good point. All right. Deals. Okay. So you've spoken to your client, and you're sending them a proposal. Okay, so you go into deals and you add a deal and you put the deal name down. So this is marketing agreement or a digital video or whatever you're working on with them as well. Deal value. Okay, now sometimes we have products listed in here. So yeah, video production's already in there. Video production differences, listing is down there. We need to add the current listing price as well. So you could actually tick the box if it's video production, and it puts the value in there in US dollars automatically. Or if you don't use that, that's fine. You can put the value in. If you've pitched 10,000 because it's a big production or whatever the case, you put it in there. The probability is a guess based on your gut feeling. So if you think, I always kind of start with 50-50. I always use 50-50 as a bit of a barometer. And say, okay, well, look, yes, they're interested, you know, they may go either way. So I'd start with 50. And if it's a really good positive conversation, then I might go at 60 or 65. If it's even better. And then what I'll do is after several other conversations, then I might push it to 70, 75. Then I might go to 90 if I'm waiting on the order and the signed contract, and move it up like that. So you move in and out of deals. Every time you fill out the notes, you kind of go back to your deals and you adjust your deal. And this is great for you because on your main dashboard, you can actually see where you are. It builds your funnel. You can see where you are with your deals. You know, have I got 50 clients all sitting in the kind of 60 to 70 category? They look like really hot options. And I've got all these other ones that I need to work on. So in a snapshot, you can see, and it gives you a bit of a kick up the bum to go, okay, well, I need to work on these guys. I haven't called them for a while, but they should already be in your tasks. And they should already be in your events if they're, you know, so everything should be in front of you. Everything should be ahead of you. Nothing should be behind you if you use the system properly. Milestone, prospect, proposal one. So at the moment, after one call, they're a prospect. Or if you're just trying to call them, they're a prospect. When you've sent them a proposal, you put them in the proposal stage, and then you've either won them or lost them after that proposal stage. So they might sit in the proposal stage for a while. That's fine. And your probability might move up and down. All right. Close date. So if they promise the decision by a particular date, add it in. That's the close date. Or if the promotion ends by a certain date, that's the close date. And that way, it allows us, we can actually measure how many deals have gone down before the close date or on time, or what the average length of a deal is. And that allows us to forecast as well. So if the average length of a deal, like when I'm selling franchises, the average length of a deal is probably 60 to 75 days. And I know that from Agile. You know, someone's considering a business opportunity. I mean, some are 60 months, but to get someone to consider, so now with a hotel or with a special or a promotion or building urgency, it might be by the end of the month or something like that. So that's what we want to see. And if we've got an idea of what product you're working with a particular close date, it allows us to really understand, for this product, we can expect a 30-day close rate. And for this product, it might be as long as 90 days. Like to shoot a video, a close might be 7 days just for a video. But for a marketing campaign, might be 14 to 21 days. So it really depends. So, and that's assuming you've got them in tasks and you're setting appointments with them. So you're constantly working on this and moving it forward and following up and sending them an email and, all the other techniques that we teach you and we'll keep going through. Deal source, website, referral, ads, LinkedIn. Excuse me. Basically, you just put in whatever. Once again, that allows us to, if it's come from an ad, then it goes in ads. We can expand those categories as well, and we may need to, but at the moment you can just pick one. Related to, once again, it's just the forms are the same. They're just like the events and the tasks. The forms pretty the same. And then you could put some detail if you want in there, but the detail really comes back to your notes anyway. So once you've saved that, and I can save that one. You can't have any dots in there. So it sits there like that. So total deals, it sits there waiting for you. So wherever you are, every time you go back in, you read the notes, you flick across the deals, it's there. But if you go onto your sales page, right, it should be, there you go. Under my pending deals, it sits there on your dashboard. So it's a great way to keep track of it. So you're not having to scribble everything on a piece of paper. Everything should be on your dashboard, and you just add different things on your dashboard by coming up the top here to add dashlet. When you add a dashlet, you can add deals, you can add contacts, you can add your calendar to the front page, activity, all sorts of cool things to. So because I want to see what you're all doing, I've added the dashboard that allows me to do that. If I was just looking at what I'm doing, then there. Your deals funnel is really interesting. It allows you to see what percentage of deals that you're working on are in different stages. So how many are in the proposal stage? How many are just prospects? Because remember, your goal is to take them from new, get them into becoming a prospect, move them into a proposal, and then move them into a one deal. That's your funnel, and that's the way you should be looking at everything. And then we can graph all sorts of different ways, but it adds it very nicely into your funnel. So yeah, that's deals. So I'll delete that. And then when you want it, you just add it into one, and then it starts to keep track of all the sales in the system. And then we can put it into kind of a competitive type situation, whereas that's what we do with this. So we'll be running bonuses and cash and holidays and hotels and all the good stuff based out of there. Campaigns, it'll just list the campaigns that we've sent. So if we've sent them 5 different campaigns, you'll be able to look at it there. So not much to do there. Web stats, I don't even know what that is, but I think it can be connected to the website, so that when Olga goes onto the hotel's TV website, it actually pops up with a message to say Olga's currently on the website, or Olga's currently on the HTV marketing website. And then that should go into timeline as well. Mail, with your mail connected, if you click this and say all mail, it will bring in, as long as you're connected, your Gmail account onto the page, and you can send and receive emails within the account for them. So you instantly on one page, you'll see every conversation you had with Olga, right? From within Agile, which is pretty cool. Connecting all this stuff we'll talk to you about, Vanessa will talk to you about in other conversations. You can add documents, but I don't do that a lot, or add tickets. I don't do that a lot. If this client's going to go ahead, just to give you an idea, one of the things we do is if we get a contract on that client, we come in and we've actually connected it to our accounting system. So we can just click and that adds Olga into our accounting system and allows us to generate an invoice. Right, so it's the beauty of this technology. It all links up. Usually you could probably link them to LinkedIn, and you can have other widgets like their social profiles, which is a great thing to activate, because instantly you can kind of see where the client is, what they've done before, what their experience level is, how long they've been in their job, you know, and that's something to look at as well. If they just started their job, they've been there 6 months or 3 months, is there someone else making decisions? It can tell you lots of things. So make sure all these things are switched on. Really, really important. And that's really it. So what you do is you come in and you fill that out. Okay. And you make sure your tags are here, and we'll give you more tags over time. So we have tags. We don't really use them on the sales side, but I use them on the franchise sales side. It'll say something like, did you receive my email? So you could tag that, and it automatically sends them an email that says, hi, Olga, did you receive the email? I'd sent it. I just want to make sure it arrived okay and didn't go into spam. Please message me back when you get this. So rather than you having to sit and type it out, those regular messages that you just go, oh, did you get this, following up, we can automate them, and we will. We'll put lots of different ones like that, and you just have to click a tag, bang. Now, why that's interesting is because you can download Agile onto your smartphone, right? So you can use the Agile app on your smartphone. And that means when you're sitting in an appointment in a post-COVID world with a client, or you've met them, or you had a coffee with them, or whatever, and they've gone, you can just sit there and update Agile straight into your smartphone. So if you can see that, right? And that means if you want to check on a client, rather than try and sit and type into that screen, because to be honest, their app isn't the best app in the world. It's okay, but it's not the best functional app. It's really been made to use on a desktop or a laptop. But if you just want to quickly find out if the client got the email, or say thanks for meeting, and you just have to quickly go and add and type the first couple of letters of that tag, and automatically your email's gone in a second. So that client's received it, they're happy, and you've just quickly done it sitting in Starbucks on your smartphone. So it's make the technology work for you, understand it, get to know it, watch. There's so many YouTube videos on Agile CRM to teach you how to use these things. The better you are at it, the more time it'll save you and the more organized you'll be. So we'll give you training on it, but you should go above and beyond and get everything, like be so confident with all the different tools that we're giving you, because they work and they work for you. Okay, so from that point, once again, you've got your tasks up here. You've got different things happening here. You can search. You can go into companies and look at all the companies that are listed there and do all these sorts of things. Online calendar. I just incidentally, with the online calendar, you all have an individual link, URL link. And what that's for is that it sets up your calendar page so that you can simply message one of your clients and say, great, can you just book a suitable time into my calendar? Thanks very much. So I got 45-minute marketing meeting there. I'm available on the 12th. There's no slots available on the 12th or the 26th. Or so they would normally, if I'd have it open, I don't have mine open. If they'd had it open, they would be, you just pick the time that you want and that's it. And they're booked. And then it automatically goes into your calendar and you wake up the next day and you've got an appointment when you go and check your calendar up here. So everyone's got one of those. And you should all be connecting your calendars to your Gmail calendars so everything synchronizes and you don't miss anything from both angles. That's it really for that. So once again, you've gone and found your client, found them on LinkedIn, sent them a message, tried to set an appointment up, added them into Agile, put the details there. You've set a task for yourself to follow up, or it's an appointment and you put it into events, and you're all organized. So now what you do is you go into the meeting on the day and you go, okay, yep, I've got that meeting. Oh, there's a Zoom link. So Matthew's got the Zoom link in there. Okay, so and the code and the ID. Or if you're doing it on Google Meet, then you just go straight into your appointment time here and you go, great, let's just go into Google Meet, and you click that link and it automatically sets up. That's it. And you just go, okay, join now. You're in Google Meet. You welcome your client. You put a nice backdrop, maybe better lighting than I tend to use these days. Present now. If you want to share your screen, share your entire screen or a window, and away you go. So it's pretty easy. It's easier than Zoom, in fact. Except I don't even know how to turn it off. There we go. Okay. So you've done that. So that gets us then smoothly into the presentation stage, which I'll flick through. So what you want to do, and we've done training on this before, write these 4 things down for me. The first one is introduction. The second one is questions. So introduction, questions. The third one is presentation. And the fourth one is the close. Now I'm going to add a 5th one, but it's an unofficial 5th one, all right? It's called handling objections. Okay, then under handling objections, I want you to write point 1, find out. Point 2, isolate. Point 3, set circumstances. And then under that set circumstances, write this, if I could, would you? So introduction, questions, presentation, close. Then under close, you've got handling objections. Point 1, find out. 2, isolate. And 3, set the circumstances. If I could, would you? Now, this is the foundation of sales. right there. If you use that to sell anything, I will guarantee you will sell it. Okay, because that is something I used over 35 years across probably 15 different industries. And the one constant, the one thing that was similar across any type of selling were these things. And let me just run through it briefly with our product for you. Okay. Introduction. Hi, I'm Harrison. I'm from Hotels TV. What I wanted to do is just get together and explain a bit about what we do. Okay, to help you get your video seen, get you higher engagements, get you more impressions, and effectively get you more bookings if that's what you're looking for. That's it. The reason we do that, it sets the circuit, sets everything up, but it also puts the clients at ease. They know what's going to come. That's the introduction. Number 2, questions. What I do as part of the introduction, I then say, well, look, what I'd like to do is just ask you a few questions first. What are you doing at the moment? How's business? What do you do for marketing? So you can, and we're going to go through in different training sessions and just brainstorm different questions that we're going to ask. Okay, and different questions you guys are asking, because everyone will probably ask something differently or a different way or whatever. But the reason we're asking questions, what do you do now? What have you done before? Is it working? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you want more of? What type of clients do you want more of? What are you pitching for now? How much are you spending on marketing? Is it worthwhile? What sort of return are you getting? All these sorts of questions gives you lots of information for the next step, which is your presentation. There is no point going through your presentation before you find out about these customers. You're missing a massive opportunity, because when you go through, and if anyone's jumped on and piggybacked me on any of these presentations, I go through this order each time because it gives me all the secret weapons I need to sell them in the presentation and also keep the presentation relevant. And usually, by the time I've been through a particular presentation with a client, and this is with any product, you know if they're sold on it, if they like it, if they want it. Before you even get into the money and the close, you generally at that stage, if you do the introduction properly, the questions and the presentation based around the answers to the questions, right? You then have you should have a great rapport with the people and have a really cool idea as to whether they're going to go ahead or what they're going to do before you even get into the money. With the questions or the questioning stage, it's a rapport building stage as well. So it's starting the conversation. So it means you're not just talking at them constantly, right? They're engaging with you. You're asking them good questions. They're giving you feedback. You're having a conversation. You're building rapport. You're building trust, right? You're sharing stories. You're having a laugh. It's not all serious. You know, you want to have a good time with these people and, break down their barriers during the introduction and the question stage, right? You don't want to do it during the presentation stage, and you certainly don't start doing that during the closing stage, because that is what forces high pressure selling. High pressure selling is only done when you haven't done the first 3 steps properly. All right. When you have to close someone so hard, it means you haven't presented the product to solve their issues, So this is where the work needs to be in steps 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, the close is simply saying, what do you think? Does that sound like something you'd like to do? Could be something like that. You have to ask, do you want to go ahead? Would you like to join? So many people in selling, so many people in phone rooms that I've trained or I've been there to consult with, or timeshare, or I've sold cars, I've sold real estate, technology. They don't ask for the order. They don't want to, they feel uncomfortable asking for money, asking for a commitment, even though they just spent 2 hours with the client pitching them their product, they never ask. Right? So they wait for the client to go, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the client, and depending on which country you're in, if you're in the US, the customer would probably be offended if they weren't asked 10 times to buy the product. Right? They'd wonder what was going on. You know, you look at the way the Americans operate. I'm not saying to operate like that, but in America, you operate like that. They're used to being asked for the order. So would you like to go ahead? What do we do? What can I do to get your business today? If you've ever been in America, that one comes out loads. So what do we need to do to get your business today? Do you like it? Now, this is an interesting one. Now, next to close, maybe draw a line and write these 4 things next to close. Like. Then under that, understand. Then under that, use, U-S-E, use. Then under that, afford. And when you're going through the close, you say, okay, well, this is it. It's going to cost you $3,000 to join. And if you join this month, we're also going to include 1 month's paid marketing through Facebook and Instagram. And also, we're going to give you a taster of the new Navigator product where we can target all the EasyJet passengers flying to London so we can serve your ads directly to people that we know are coming to London, not just ones on Facebook that are interested in London, that live near London. These people we know are coming to London. So we'd like to do that for you. So how does that sound? Would you like to go ahead? Well, I'm not sure. I think I've got to talk to some people. Okay, look, let me ask you some questions. Do you like it? Do you like what we're doing? Do you like the product? Oh, yeah, it looks really good. Okay. And you understand it all. So I've explained it fairly clearly. So you understand it. Have you got any questions about how it works or anything like that? No, no, no. I understand it. And you can use it, right? Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We need more clients from this particular, we want more clients from Israel. We want more clients from this particular location. We want more staycation clients. Yeah, we could definitely use that. We could use the video, whatever you're pitching, it doesn't matter. Okay. Tick, tick, tick. You like it, you understand it, and you can use it. Okay, so it's just down to the affordability, right? So if you can afford it, it's something you'd probably like to do. Okay, so is it affordable? So this gives you what this does is gives you a really clear guide when you're going through a closing situation to say, okay, well, look, there's the price. I've given them the price. I need to ask for the order. So you might want to write that next to close. Okay, ask for the order. Okay, now that might be kind of an American way of saying it, but you think of it any way you want, but you've got to ask for it. Ask for the sale, ask for what you've got to actually out loud, physically, verbally ask. The old saying, if you don't ask, you don't get. Kids want an ice cream, what do? Can I have an ice cream? 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 Can I have an eventually they get the ice cream, right? They're the greatest salespeople in the world. Right? They never give up.
Do you know what that is called? The technique of the broken records.
That's very good. Yeah. It's persistence, but yeah, I'm not saying to use that one. I'd say vary up, not
That's a dramatic title, Vanessa. Very dramatic.
But it works. It works, or it gets the phone put down on you. Either way, it's a decision. So that's good. You want a decision. The worst thing is not having any decision. Now, we can't always get it on the first phone call. I understand that. It's something over a period of time, but there has to come a point where you ask for the order. And you won't ask just once, you'll ask several times. So be prepared. So would you like to go ahead? Oh, well, I need to talk to someone. Okay. Well, look, when can we meet? And this is where you go back to Agile and you set up the next appointment. So you put it in events or you put it in tasks. I need to talk to someone. Okay, so if I call you on Friday, would you know when we can meet next? Yeah. So set it up, a task to call them back on Friday, to set an appointment, which then goes into events, and so it goes. So you record everything as you go along. Now, after you've got together with them and they've asked some questions, you turn around and you go, so would you like to join? You don't just put the phone down or leave the decision with them. You want to know. And they want to know that you're interested. Yeah, look, we're ready for you. We've got the deal on. I'd really love you to take advantage of what's going on at the moment. I think it'd be great for you. We've got a campaign that's launching all about London and you can be in it. Can we get you started? Would you like to go ahead? Whichever way you want to do it, you want to ask them for a decision. And then what you do is you wait and you shut up, right? You let them answer. So many salespeople, they keep talking through, right? The point at which you've just asked them for a decision and you don't shut up. You keep talking about something else, and because you feel like you've got to fill the air, you know, this is natural. It's natural, but you feel like you've got to say something and you've got to fill the air. There's an old saying in sales that whoever speaks next buys. Right? So if you speak, you buy. Means they don't. If they speak, oh, well, yeah, look, it sounds really good. Great. All right. I'll get a proposal together. I'll get it and I'll email it across to you. And it's done. It's done. They may not have objections. Those objections might just be questions. So don't assume it's going to be a tough battle just to get a sale. It could be the easiest thing in the world. You've just got to ask for it. But if they come back and go, well, look, I'm still not sure. We're still not sure. So look, we might leave it for now. And you go, okay, well, look, can I ask you some questions? And this is where you go into handling objections. What's the problem? Is the problem the price? Or is the problem the product? Oh, no, I love the product. It's really good. It's the price. Or it's the timing. Probably that's the one at the moment. It's the timing or it's the price. Okay. Apart from that, is there anything else that would stop you from joining? No. It's just that. So have a look under handling objections. The first one was find out. So you're finding out what the problem is. The second one is isolating. You're isolating it. Apart from that, is there anything else? So it's just that point. What you're doing at this particular point in time is you're closing gates around them. You're giving them nowhere to go. That one closed. That one closed, right? This one's closing. You just need the top to close, right? Because what you're doing is this is the process that is used in selling to help guide people to a decision. I don't care if the decision's no. That's fine. If they don't like it, I would have found out by now. If they can't use it, I would have found out by now. If they don't understand it, I would have found out by now. I haven't just been turned down by someone for a reason I have no clue as to why they've turned me down. Right? So that's why going through these processes, it's important. It doesn't always work smoothly that way, but if you get this system into the way you operate, it's a much smoother way of making sales. And as long as you've ticked all these points, you know, because you're not going to get every single sale, every single person, but you can look back and go, I did it. I ticked all those boxes. I went through the process and I had to do that 4 times before I got a sale. Right? That's a sales structure. That way you can start to now look at all your numbers and go, okay, if I make 20 calls or I have 20 appointments this month, I should make 4 sales. Right? It allows you to do it. But if every time you do a presentation, you change everything and you don't ask for the order and you Don't find out if they've understood it, and you don't understand, and you're not handling an objection, you change your numbers every time. You will never get an average. 1 month it'll be 1 in 4, next month it'll be 1 in 50, then it'll be every single 1, 1, 2, 3 you'll get. Then, you know, it'll be so inconsistent. So you need a structure, and it doesn't mean you have to just become a parrot. We're not talking about the pitch or the script or anything like that. We're talking about the sales process of what you go through. And you do this a few times, it gets stuck into your psyche, and it's so easy to work with that wherever you fall out on the presentation or get interrupted, you can just swing straight back into it, and you know where to pick it up from and continue. And you also can keep using that handling objections over and over again, you know, so you get down to the end. So find out. So apart from the money, is there anything? No, it's just the money. Okay. Set the circumstances. So if we can find a way to make this affordable for you now, you would go ahead. Is that what you're telling me? Yes. If this was affordable, I would do it. Okay. So if I could, would you? That's what that is. So, okay, what about if we do this? Or what about if we do that? Is that affordable for you? Yes. Okay. And if you've got to change from the normal thing, then what you do is you say, okay, let me find out and I'll come back to you. And then you message Vanessa or myself and you talk about the opportunity, the hotel, the deal, the structure, whatever it is. I don't care what you come back with. If you say, okay, the only way, they said they would go ahead if you spun 5 plates and did keep me ups with a soccer ball for the next 10 minutes. I don't care what it is. They're asking, bring it back. Okay, let me find out for you. But if we could do that, would you go ahead? Once again, you're funneling them into your sales process. So that would look something like, okay, so it's not affordable at the moment, but you're confident things are going to pick up. But so you'd love to get this marketing going now because, you know, you can be securing bookings now, but you just don't have enough funds in the marketing, or the budget's already spent because of COVID. So if we could defer that invoice for 6 months, or if we could defer that invoice to 2022, would you go ahead? And say, look, I can't promise that to you now. I need to go and ask someone, but there's no point me asking someone if you're not going to go ahead. So if we could do something, which means you get your marketing now, but pay later, right? To help you, because we're not going to be able to offer something like this later on because prices just go up, everything will be back to normal. But right now you've got an opportunity to get marketing done without having to pay anything now and pay later. So if we could do that, would you go ahead? You would? All right. Let me try and get hold of someone and I'll get back to you this afternoon. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it's okay. So what you're doing at that point as well is you now become a buddy of the client. It's now you and the client against the company, right? So it's now you're the good guy and the company's the bad guy. So you're now trying to get the company to discount or do a better deal. So it makes you look really good. You're now a trusted ally that's going into bat for these people. And you've done that through the handling objection stage to try and isolate the problem and set up the circumstances for them to move forward. All right. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that's it. The presentation itself is a different thing, and it depends on what you're pitching and what you're going through. Excuse me. We will work on that in other sessions. We'll go through, but a very good guide is to kind of work through the HTV marketing page step by step about what we do. And very briefly, it's think of hotels TV in steps. First step, if you're a hotel, the number one step is that you come onto the platform. It's pretty simple. We've got loads of viewers circulating. We're always doing marketing. Come onto the platform. It's going to cost you $3,000, but that's for 12 months. So it's pretty affordable marketing. 12 months, but you have to have a video, and the video needs to be decent. If you don't have a decent video, we can make one for you. It's going to cost you $2.5 grand, right? We set up your profile. You can have rates and availability, or you can just have a link directly to your website. So it's direct and it's commission-free business. That's what we're looking to do, but we need a video because we then go and market your video. So there's an example of a video used, but there's an example of one that we make. And then we can chop that into pieces and use for different types of marketing. Now, once you come onto the platform with Hotels TV, step 2 is that we distribute automatically your content through all these other channels that you wouldn't normally have access to. So you wouldn't normally be able to just go and put your hotel video up on Apple TV. No one would really do that and build an app and go to all that trouble for one video. And if you look on hotels.com or anyone like that, they don't have hotel videos. They have destination videos, but they're not. So you want to be seen on all these channels. Collectively, they have on connected TV channels, well over 250 million subscribers around the world to these particular channels. But then we also put you on YouTube, and there's, I don't know how many hundreds of millions or a billion views a day or whatever it is. Facebook and so on. So we do that automatically included in your $3 grand. So you get all that reach, and then you're there all year. Additionally, we want you to get involved in individual marketing campaigns. So you allocate a particular budget, whether it's $1,000, $2,000 or whatever a month. You tell us what's affordable, but we go out and do paid advertising for you each month. So you've got your $3 grand a year and you're on the channel. You don't have to pay anymore. But if you really want to engage and get lots of bookings and get lots of impressions, then what you'll do is you'll engage in some marketing. We have 2 types of marketing. One is just general Facebook and Instagram type advertising, but our engagement rates, click-throughs are well over 8%, engagement 25 to 35%. The average in the market is normally about 4 to 6%, even with video. Without video, it's even 2 to 4%. But ours, because of Hotels TV, we have a following. Because it's video, it's within our channel. It's 3 to 4 times what the average market is. So you're going to get some great exposure and great impressions from that. And we guarantee that it's going to be higher than any other exposure that you've had. Additionally, we have a very targeted way of delivering ads to people that have just searched or booked flights. Now, if you're in the US, you would say United. If you're in Europe, you would say EasyJet. So let's use EasyJet. If you're in Asia, it's Singapore and it's Malaysian Airlines. And there'll be others coming on. So what you say is we can actually target people who are searching on EasyJet's website for your destination or have booked. And we can send them your ad, your video ad, and we can cut it down. And we can send it to them at a point that they're booking, at a point that they're at the airport, and even when they're in the destination. There is nothing else like this that is so targeted with your message that you're trying to send out. And we've got this that we can do for you. Now, as part of an introduction for you, when you first start, if you come on this month, we're going to give you paid marketing for the first 30 days, and we're going to give you a taste of this Navigator product within that first 30 days, but only if you join now during this month. Otherwise, you can join $3 grand, you can do that. So once again, that gives you some urgency. That gives you a reason to sell them, a reason for them to join. Okay. So not only do they get onto the platform where we've already got 250,000 circulating users through all our platforms and everything else, and that's growing all the time with all the marketing we're doing, but they get paid advertising to launch them for their first month. Why are we doing this? We're doing it because we want you to see after 30 days how good this is, so that you then allocate your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 a month to us, because you know you're going to get 2 to 3, 4 times back in bookings and brand awareness of what you've spent. That's our goal. you know, to return you 2, 3, 4 times what you're spending by joining us and being part of us, right? So, you know, we don't want you to join up just for the 3 grand. We want you to invest 20, 30 grand with us a year, but knowing that it's a really good booking channel for you. That's what we want, right? So that now justifies the fact that actually we're serious. We want to get business to them that converts. And it makes the 3 grand look really small. This is the smallest amount they're going to pay, right? So they're expecting results, which is great, but they're investing, and so they're going to get them. And then go, okay, we're also across Reach TV. So we have access to a market. It's 100 million travelers per month through digital screens set up in over 70 US airports. Hotels TV is putting together an 8-minute show featuring luxury hotels. Your hotel could be selected to be part of that, but it's very exclusive. And we have luxury brands that advertise across that. But why that's good for you, as at the moment, even now during COVID, it's 30 million travelers a month, but in post-COVID times, it'll be back to 100 million a month. These people can scan QR codes on the videos and make their way back into the Hotels TV website. So even if you're not on one of these, you still get the benefit of us being across these screens. And also we're looking at other screens. Now you see that on the other presentations, other screens like in gyms, in office blocks, in buildings, we're getting around and distributing Hotels TV and marketing across all digital screens, as well as the connected TV channels and these types of digital screens in the US. All right. We're also partnering with major events. We're already supporting partners with the Singapore Yacht Show, the Hong Kong Yacht Show, the Thailand Yacht Show, World Travel Market Africa. And we can help you as a hotel be connected with these events as one of the preferred hotel booking partners. So when people, you know, there might be 5,000 people attending that event, but their marketing might go out to 100,000 people to get 5,000 people. You're going to be part of that. Hotels TV is a supporting partner of that. And when these people and the exhibitors want to book, you're one of the 4 or 5 choices that are on that particular destination's website. That's on the Hotels TV website. That's another reason for them to join. Live streaming on this platform, on your hotel profile, you can live stream. So if you've got a hotel opening or a special occasion, we can connect your camera up and you can live stream directly to the market. Or as a hotel opening, we can even bring cameras to your hotel and we can broadcast your live stream to hundreds of thousands of people rather than 100 or 200 that may attend your opening party. And if we can bring a luxury brand sponsor in as a hotel, it may not cost you anything. So if you've got a high profile hotel and you're promoting it to everyone to come onto the live stream, we can then sell advertising across it with a key partner to sponsor that for you. We deliver analytics every month to you so you can see which platforms you're on, what impressions you've been getting, what engagement, what click-throughs, bookings, everything else. We deliver that to you. And it's also good for your SEO. As you list your video with us and we host it, when we put it out through all the different channels, it optimizes really high in the search engines. You can even go and do an example. I generally do an example. You type in Shanty Maurice Resort and Spa Mauritius as an example, and it comes up #1 under a YouTube search. So it just shows you. Also, when we're connected with the events, the other thing to realize is if someone types in hotels near the Singapore Yacht Show, Hotels TV comes up #1 or #2 in organic search listings because we have the hotels and we're listed to the main event. And Google makes that a priority because that's a top connection or top backlink because we're connected right to the specific event. So anything to do with hotels, we come up. And therefore the hotels come up, which gives them extra exposure. And that's it. All right. So that's how I'd go through the presentation, get them all warm and fuzzy. But when you're going through this presentation, you've already asked the questions, right? So when you go through, you can then say, well, look, you wanted a new platform. You wanted somewhere to put your video because you told me your video is just not working on its own on YouTube. can you see how it sits on nicely on the platform, and we use it alongside the booking system. So as you go through, you're chatting with the client, referring back to the things that they pointed out in the questioning stage, which makes the whole presentation really, really relevant. And also, they told you. So if they told you, then it must be true. And so if you repeat what they told you to them, they can't deny it. They wanted that. They told you that. It's not something that they can then use against you because they just told you that. That's why you want to get lots of information out about what they want going forward. Keep it nice and relevant, and then get down to the stage and go, okay, now the price. Well, the price is $3,000. This is what you get for it. How does that sound? Do you like it? Do you understand it? Can you use it? Can you see how it's used and how it's going to benefit your hotel? And is it affordable? Yes, yes, yes. Great. Okay, shall we get started? I'll send you an agreement, and let's get you included in the next campaign going out. Let's make sure you don't miss that. So you can be going out with the next London run. Great. Thanks very much. I look forward to working with you. Done. Oh, no, I don't want to do it. And then you go into your objections and then you offset and you go, yeah. Or you go back into Agile and then you say, yes, we won it. That's the price, close sale. And then you get the contract signed, pass it over to Vanessa. Vanessa then does the onboarding. She does the processing. We'll get the credit card. I mean, these people can pay by credit card then and there, or they can do a bank transfer, or they can pay by PayPal or whatever. So we send an invoice out and they can do all that. But first of all, we get the contract signed. Then once they're paid, we set them up on the system. Vanessa will then get in touch with them and basically get the video off them, get the shoot. She's already, as part of the agreement, there's already a form that they fill out about the hotel and about which channel manager they use and things like that. Whether they want to add rates or whether they just want a direct link and all that sort of stuff. So that's all done. It's processed. They're put online pretty quickly. The video is then edited. The video is now edited 2 or 3 times. So they get the full 2-minute video or whatever they submitted with our logos, with a QR code on it. They also get a teaser video now. One of these, if you've seen them, these, there's some here, latest videos as well, isn't there? Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe not on that. I'll show you something.
Social media.
Yeah, I'll go into Vimeo. Okay, so they get they get one of these as well. I mean, we'll continue to knock out these what we call short videos. They're 10-second teasers with the message within the first kind of 3 seconds. Probably all seen this one. All right, so just nice little little teasers, just to tempt people in. We use those on Facebook, we use it on Instagram, we use it on Reels, we use it on all those bits and pieces. New hotel opening. This one's worked for us pretty well so far. So if there's a new hotel opening, just to tease the market, it's a great way to get the message across. Right, gets to the point, and then we want to tempt people in through all our platforms to click on a link and come in and watch a full video or find out more or whatever. And these things are the reason that we're getting such high engagements. So it's something that you should also mention to your clients and, you know, show them examples of that. Now, on Reach TV, if you do want to show them an example of what an 8-minute show on Reach TV looks like, that we do, then you go on to hotels.tv and you go into live now. Now, this is our live streaming platform. We will be showing content, or it is live now. Live, we're trying to show content 24/7 so people can just come in and actually watch it.
Luxury resort has 61 rooms and is set over 36 acres. It is surrounded by lush tropical gardens.
So it just goes rotate. We've probably got about 15, 20 minutes of video.
You have to try this for your
You can't forward it or anything like that. It's just going to stream. But if you watch this, you can see the types of stuff,
Did you know
the presenter-led
that this resort has
pieces.
the biggest spa in the Indian Ocean, covering 7.
And it also includes the Arizona piece. But it shows you exactly the way we'll do it. And there's adverts in there. There's adverts for hotels, everything. So it just gives an idea of the format that we can roll out. And every platform's different. So let me just turn the volume down a bit on that. So every platform's different. Like advertising in a cinema will be different. Advertising in a gym. Some of the screens in gyms, they might be able to give you 2 minutes. They won't be able to give us 8 minutes. So we edit a show accordingly, and we put a shorter show in, or maybe we just advertise Hotels TV, scan the QR code for a discount or whatever it is, and get them connected onto the platform. So, or we can do a 2-minute edit with 3 or 4 hotels, you know, by showing 20, 30 seconds per hotel. So either way, we can tailor the content to the particular platform. This one's going to finish in a second, so I'll show you what it goes on to, but we'll just keep changing the programming on the live stuff. But if there's a live event, this is where it would go as well. All right. So that's really it. It just should go into directly into a couple of ads if you just watch this at the end. So got the logo. So it goes into a couple of those short videos. So we interlace that, make it a bit interesting. So it's a bit of an advert. And we've got this one on, our favorite A to Z of a cool hotel video. That one plays across it, as well as the other piece. Okay. And of course, you know, the way to explain it as well is no matter where we're marketing all over the world, whatever digital screens, we want people scanning and coming back onto the platform where they can then watch their hotel's video. And we give them a rotation on the main videos here, or of course on the website, you can actually go by destination. A lot of our marketing, we will market directly into either the destination page or into the hotel's page anyway directly. So if someone wants to come and look at all the different videos that we show across the homepage, that's fine, but there's a lot there. But generally with the marketing, it's all about being more targeted and driving people in directly to that. Now, if you've also got someone who wants to sponsor Amsterdam or wants to sponsor Mexico, we can talk about sponsorship on a per destination basis across the website and across the channels as well. So all these are open to further discussions. So whenever we play a video, we could have a little sponsor message, provided it fits in keeps in keeping. Or this section here, this big blank space is actually there for a sponsor as well, or a key partner to be able to work with, whether that's a fashion brand or it's whatever it is that we work with. All right. Stop the share. I'll come back to you all. Thanks for your attention with that. Any questions at this stage on that? No? All right, very good. Well, just before we finish, Tulio, I wanted to just bring you on microphone because we're working, and you're working on Mexican resorts, and I know we've spoken about Latin America as well. But perhaps if you could just say a few words about the approach that you're putting together with the tourism authority to get to the hotels, and also the property companies that could potentially sponsor the piece. I think that would be really interesting because it's a slightly different approach to what we've done in a couple of other destinations, and I really like it. I mean, we've approached Los Cabos and we've approached these destinations in Bermuda, but to package it together so that I'm almost saying it for you, but to package it together so that the tourism authority may not even have to invest their own money, or they may invest into bringing the hotels on board rather than going on to Reach TV. The Reach TV bit could be sponsored by the property company. If you could maybe say a few words on that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harrison. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, all good.
Well, this idea came from because I know we have different tourism board chapters in Mexico that are really important. As you said, Los Cabos is one of the tops, but also in the Quintana Roo, which actually right now emerged Cancun, Riviera Maya, and Tulum, which is the 3 top destinations into the area. So basically what I saw an opportunity here is, instead of go and pitch themselves to the tourism board, just offering the idea to do a partnership, and they with me and them going together, knocking doors to 3 different kind of clients. One, it will be the luxury hotels or complex that are into the area, like Mayacoba, who has 4, Corasol, who have another 4, and real estate projects too, and so on. So that's one. The other one is to approach the new hotels coming up as an initiative to make them successful before the pre-opening, invite them to be part of it, and selling the destination first, and then the hotels or the new upcoming hotels into the area. So that will be the strategy. So I would like to also touch base with the real estate developments, which is a lot in Tulum, is booming of that, and also into the Cancun and Riviera Maya. So that will be looking for them as sponsors, because basically they also need to sell the destination and see how beautiful it is to have a second home into this area. But in order to get more leads, they need to sell what's going on in Tulum or Riviera Maya or Cancun. So that will be the strategy. And also the tourism board will look as a star, really stellar into the country with the tourism authorities, making the leaders of the strategy versus the other destinations, because in one way or the other, they compete. So basically, I don't know if I missed something, but that's the general idea.
That's good. And the really the really interesting thing with this is that we can also start to bring the technology together. So if you think about that, all of a sudden, the tourism authority is the voice with Hotels TV approaching the hotels. So the hotels are already in the pockets of the tourism authority and want more support. Now they're getting it. So the hotels come on board, which is great. We then broadcast that across 70 US screens to 100 million people, let's say. The real estate company comes on and they've sponsored it. They've got 2 30-second ads, or maybe there's an editorial piece. But we're targeting people who want to go to Mexico. We're targeting people in the US, and particularly those in, say, maybe California or Texas or the southern states. It's a short distance to go to Mexico. Those people are interested in looking at the Mexican hotels, maybe scanning the QR codes, also now looking at property for sale in Mexico. And the two could be very much related, where people might be going to Mexico to view property. So there is a percentage of the population that may be interested in that. There is the possibility then of bringing in the Navigator product. Now we could serve the real estate ads to the people that have just booked Cancun or Mexico through United Airlines. So not only are now we're targeting people before they've even got to the airport, we now know they've booked to come to Mexico. And now for the real estate company, we're serving ads for them to the people that are now definitely coming to Mexico. In the airport, they're seeing us on the digital screens, and we're ads on their smartphones still, because we can track that through United. And then when they're in the destination of Mexico, they're still getting the ads, right? So what's to stop a real estate company offering a special promotion? This is what Timeshare did for years, a special promotion saying you get a free cruise if you come to a real estate seminar or whatever, or we'll pick a car up for you. We'll send a car for you and come and tour around the new estate. So not only have we warmed them up beforehand, we can now even get to people as a source of lead generation for the advertiser who's going to spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 with us on these campaigns. We can get so targeted, we can even find people when they're in the resort. So they're even better targets. Now that's gold as a lead generation opportunity to a real estate company or a timeshare company or whatever it is that we work with. It's absolute gold. So whether it's Wyndham we work with, or Marriott, or we work with developers, tying it all together and bringing all that technology in is one hell of a campaign. So it just shows, yeah. So it's, yeah, great, really good tool. Yeah. All right. Anything else from anyone? I think we're approaching 2 hours. I think it's been a good session. We've recorded it, so that'll be a good one for reviewing, and also for Indra and other people coming in. And as we're continuing to look for new people in great locations to keep the spread going. Yeah, and we'll spend some time next week as well, going through some presentations and also going through the Navigator product and looking at which destinations are active right now according to Navigator, according to flights and things like that, so that we can start to kind of zero in. But in the meantime, get used to Agile if you're not. Use it, catch up with your contacts, fill the deals in, fill the events in, fill the tasks in. Really get on top of everything on that. Send the link out to your contacts so they're making a link directly or making an appointment directly into that link, and really get that working for you. It will save you a hell of a lot of time, and it will help you, you know, be on top of your information so that you can get to deals much easier. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much for your time. And we'll see you on Monday. If you need anything else in the meantime, then obviously message on WhatsApp.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
See you.
Bye for now.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.